What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, MLB DFS video. It is Saturday. It is May 3rd edition. We are back. If you've never been to the website before, it's right on your screen. It's FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Check us out. Now, people have been asking, and there's a couple people that have been asking about the yearly pass worth $99 instead of $199. We've opened up a couple more spots left. So if you've been on the fence about it, I'm still waiting on 5 people to email me back now. If you guys even want to email me back, we've opened 10 spots left. So we've opened 10 spots. So if you email me, dfshelp1@gmail.com, if you want $100 off, you can check it out and we will hit you up. Let us know the email and we will go from there. But if you've never been here before, you can probably already tell that it's a Saturday. The video is a little bit longer than what you're used to. And that is because we try to make you better DFS players by breaking down every single game. So we're going to look at all the games that are on the 2 slates. So we got the early slate, the main slate. We're going to look at the pitchers. We're going to look at the historical matchups. We're going to look at batter splits. We're going to look at everything. We're going to look at players that we would like if we were stacking in that game. So on top of that, it should be more informative than what you're used to. And that's exactly what we try to do. So I want to help you guys become a better DFS player. Now, if you have any questions about other things, you can always ask. But we try to give you as much information as we possibly can. We also try to have giveaways every single day. Here's how you win. 2 ways to win in these videos. Like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment. If this video gets at least 50 likes, you will have a shot at a free week of FTA+. That is a week of all sports, not just MLB. So for Saturday, usually Saturdays are MLB and MMA. Sundays have NASCAR and MLB. And then the week goes through. Thursdays have PGA. So we're going to be done with NBA now because it's only about 1 game a night. It's really not worth it. Sports betting, maybe you can ask some sports betting questions in our free Discord down below. But DFS-wise, it's a showdown every single night. It's not very fun. And that seems to be the popular opinion in our Discord. If this video gets at least 100 likes, you'll have a shot at a free month. 150 likes, a free year. 200 or more likes on this video, a shot at a lifetime pass worth $500. Second way to win, somewhere in this video, there'll be a keyword or a key phrase. Listen for it and type it in and have your second shot at a free week of FTA+. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at we're going to see who the 2 winners are. Now, I did have someone comment in yesterday's video, are we sure the winners are random? I literally have the winners put in, it goes through the comments from the video. So I pulled the URL from the video from yesterday, put it right in there, and it randomly chooses the names. So we're going to choose 2 names, maybe. It could be the same person. But the more you guys come back, the more you leave comments, the better chances you have. So we did hit over 100 likes in that video from yesterday. So we are going to see who the winner of a free month is right here. My hands are up here. It is random. Chucksenhausen, congratulations. Please email me. You know the email, dfshelp1@gmail.com. Let me know your username on our website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, and we will set you up for your free week or free month of FTA+. Now, the free phrase of the day was Friday or some combination of that. So we're still going to re-roll it and we're going to see who the winner is of the comment. So let's hope they all have it there. But I'll put my hands up. This is me not choosing them. There you go. Tall Tale, congratulations. You have not won in a very long time. Please email me. The email is in the description of this video and we will set you up for your free week. So that being said, you can go check out all of the stuff under MLB, matchup tool all the way down. After we go through all of the plays at each position that we like in each game, we are then going to give you all of our plays that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating through 10,000 sims. So we do 20,000 simulations a day. Before the videos start, we do 10,000 and show you all who have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating. On top of that, after that, we do Pitches Be Crazy. And what that is the top 5 pitchers on the slate that have great matchups here. So the matchup wise, we look at the bottom 5 teams that strike out the most, and we look at the pitchers that are going up against them. We're going to give you some stats there. And then at the very end, we're going to do our Makin Bacon bets. And what that is after 10,000 simulations, and we look at the matchup tool, we look at everything combined. We look at the plays that we like, that we think are going to get over 1.5 bases. And then on top of that, some of the pitchers, and then what strikeout lines we should be looking at when we're building our lines. So stick around. There are chapters here so you can skip around. If you cannot afford to sign up for FTA+, A big thing that you guys could do is watch this entire video, maybe multiple times the entire way through, maybe play it in the background on mute so the watch time looks pretty good. Comment, share, leave a like on it for the algorithm. Those help all way more than you guys understand. So we're going to use Outlier. You can find the link to sign up in the description here. They're going to give you a 7-day free trial to their premium package. If anyone signs up using our link, we are going to give you a free week of FTA Plus if you do their normal package. But if you do their pro package per month, we are going to give you a free month as well. You just got to sign up using our link. So if you have questions or want our link, you can always email me as well, but it should be down below in the description. So we're going to look at the first game, and I'll let you know right now, we do have some weather concerns today, again, unfortunately, but that's just kind of where we're at right now. It's springtime. We've unfortunately got some problems there. So we do have, like, the Tampa Bay Rays at the Yankees. The game, for whatever reason, is an hour earlier than this, so we're not going to cover that game. We are going to start with the Astros at the Chicago White Sox. As of right now, there doesn't appear to be any concern with weather. Obviously, it's Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown is MVP candidate right now. He's got a 1.22 ERA. I think they said only one other pitcher has a better ERA over the span of like last year and this year since the All-Star break than Hunter Brown. I mean, just dominant performances here. Seattle kind of a, down game. He is expensive though. He has jumped up to 10,900, so he's very expensive as a pitcher. Has not faced the White Sox this year. Obviously, the White Sox are a bad team. Hunter Brown has been really good. I would look at Hunter Brown, and then you got Davis Martin. He really hasn't seen the Astros. 4 at-bats total, 3.24 ERA. Is actually coming off a couple of good starts. What you're looking for at least DFS purposes on DraftKings, 2 to 2.5 times value. So you're looking at a 6,800 times 2 to 2.5. Pretty good odds there. I mean, he had a great start against the Athletics. Didn't hit value, almost hit value, 2 times value versus Minnesota. Did hit value against Boston. Boston strikes out a ton as well. He does get to go up against Houston, which I'm probably off of. So what I would look in this game, without even really having to break it down, Hunter Brown, and then the Astros. Jordan, Jose Altuve, DeZenzo, Jeremy Pena, depending on who they're going to have at catcher. Maybe check out their catcher, Yonder Diaz, you could look at. Just look to see the lineup that comes out, but I'm all over Hunter Brown. I really want nothing to do with Davis Martin in cash. You could throw him in tournaments only because he is 6,800 and very cheap. The Mets at the Cardinals, there is rain concern. We've got Tyler Meagle versus Eric Fediwap. So you've got Tyler Meagle comes in, somehow has got a 1.74 ERA. Do not know how he's done that. Back-to-back good starts, kind of a bad start and didn't hit value against Miami, but he's had 2 really good starts against offenses that have been pretty good this year. Career-wise against St. Louis, 15 plate appearances. They really haven't seen him. So if you're kind of looking into that, we can take a little look. So if you're not going to take either pitcher, and you want to look at some of the bats that make sense. So Eric Fedde comes in, 4.68 ERA. So it's not been doing very well. And just kind of like, obviously the Mets have one of the best, I think the best record in baseball still. They've been hitting very well. Against Fedde, not a ton of them have actually had success against him overall, but like Jesse Winker has 2 home runs. He would be a cheap outfield option. Lindor batting 316 against him. McNeil batting 438. You got Marte with a home run against him. You got Lindor does have a home run against him. But then we break it down further. So we looked at the BVP. Now this is what I think kind of separates us, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, from like other guys. So they're just going to give you some plays to use, and they probably don't even use those plays. But we're going to dig in a little bit more. So not only are we looking at BVP, we're actually looking at batter splits. So overall, using Outlier, as you can see, the majority of this team, they don't hit righties as well as they hit lefties. But the ones that, I mean, you dig in a little bit, like Lindor still batting 323 against lefty or righties, 5 bombs. Alonso, it doesn't look like he hits very well because it's red, but he's still batting 326 against righties this year. But as you can see, he bats better than 326 against lefties. So that's what that means. He's still got 5 bombs. You got Nimmo with 4 bombs. You got Soto batting 207. He's got 3 bombs, had a couple of bombs Thursday. So it's a little bit different, but still, we look at that. Alvarez would be a cheap catching option. Like a Met stack makes sense. And I don't think we're not overstating it. It makes a ton of sense here, and we want to go that direction. St. Louis bats against Tyler Meagle. They really haven't seen much. Wilson Contreras has a home run, batting 1 for 2. But they do hit righties better. But the thing is, Meagle somehow is pitching out of his mind right now. He is, overall, I don't think this is who he is. This is kind of like Marcus Stroman had a great first half last year, then he fell off second half. I'm not saying Meagle will do that, but this is not what we're normally expecting from Meagle. There is weather concern. It's on the road, whether or not. But if you want to look at that, like Pedro Pajes, 2 home runs would be a cheap catching option here. Alec Burleson makes a little bit of sense. Brendan Donovan batting 357 against righties this year with a couple of bombs. You got Mason Wynn batting 293 with 3 bombs. You got Lars Nootbaar 266 with 4 bombs. Victor Scott 288 with 2 bombs. Like, they hit righties better. The only ones that really don't, Arenado, Pozo, Baker, and Jordan Walker. So it could get interesting. Looking at that, I'm probably off of the pitching. And overall, like, you probably should be too, especially with the weather. Let's kind of wait for how the weather's going to hold up. So Cleveland at Toronto is next. You got Kevin Gausman versus Gavin Williams. Gavin Williams on the 11 plate appearances against Toronto, not much. Gausman, 77 plate appearances, 282. So Gausman's coming off a bad start against the Yankees. Kind of figured he would, the way the Yankees have been hitting. Lost that game 11-2, 6 earned runs in that game, 5 walks against the Yankees, which is a team that strikes out a ton, 2 Ks as well. Now he does get a little bit easier matchup, but Cleveland's still a great hitting team. And you can see, like, he hasn't hit value the past couple of starts. He hit value. He's hit value 1, 2, 3 starts. So 3 of his starts he has hit value. But outside of that, 3 of the other starts hasn't hit much value. Cleveland is a good hitting team, like I said. Gavin Williams, on the other hand, we stacked against him his last start for Minnesota. 4 earned runs. Not a ton of runs, but he still had minus 4.9. Toronto's a good team as well. Hasn't really seen him much. And that's why I want to use this and kind of look at the different games here. So when it loads, we'll look into the games. Will kind of make sense. So Gausman comes in at 4.50 ERA overall, coming off a couple of bad starts, really bad start against the Yankees. And then you do have Gavin Williams, though. He comes in with a 5+ ERA. So it's kind of the same boat here. Probably avoiding both pitchers and looking at the bats. So against Gausman, like Carlos Santana has a home run. Basically it. Against right-handed pitching, though, it's been weird. Like Steven Kwan, obviously we want to take Steven Kwan as much as we can. He's 338 batting average with 4 bombs against righties this year. I would look at him. Brian Roquillo, I would look at. Gabriel Arias, I would look at. Jose Ramirez, 241 batting average with 4 bombs. He is better against lefties, but he is always a home run threat or a stolen base threat if he gets on base. So he's always looking at that. And then you could look at Big Christmas, Noel as well, if you want to kind of find a big stack there. Toronto bats against Gavin Williams, not much going on. Against righties, overall, they don't hit as well as they do lefties, but Bo Bichette's still batting 292 against righties. Vlad Guerrero, 276, only has 1 home run against righties this year, which is kind of surprising. George Springer batting 313. I wish George Springer was still leading off. Santander's kind of underperforming to start the season. 213 batting, 193 batting average with 4 bombs. So Santander's like Kyle Schwarber. He's very boomer bust this year right now. But those would be the bats you'd look at. Most likely, maybe a little bit of Alejandro Kirk. I don't know if he'll get the start. But again, just to kind of reiterate, I'm not looking at the pitching in this one. San Diego at Pittsburgh, it has been confirmed now. It is Randy Vasquez versus Bailey Falter. We stacked against Vasquez his last start. We took Tampa Bay, and it worked out. 3 earned runs against him, 1 strikeout. He's just not that good of a pitcher. I know Pittsburgh's a bad team, but I think people might be on him. I might look at Pittsburgh bat. And then Bailey Falter, overall, 5.93 ERA, very high up there. We took Dodgers against him last time. It worked out. 7 runs, 5 of them earned. 2 strikes, 2 walks, not much going on. I'm avoiding the pitching in this one. And I would look at the bats. So for whatever reason, it is not up here. I don't know why. It's not up here yet. But if we're looking at bats, hitters overall, Tatis, love me some Tatis. O'Neal Cruz on the flip. So if we're looking at San Diego bats first off, Tatis would be 1. Machado would be 2. I would look at Xander Bogaerts against the lefty. I don't mind that. Gavin Sheets would be a cheaper option as well. Luis Arraez maybe a little bit. The flip side of that, so we look at the bats. Now there is weather concern here. Could see a delay. We don't want to see a delay, but we're not using pitching. So as long as the game gets played, it should not factor into using the bats here. So the bats that I would use against Vasquez, I love a Pittsburgh stack today. So maybe an O'Neill Cruz, Andrew McCutchen, Brian Reynolds. Cheap catching option would be, or not cheap anymore, I guess, Joey Bart. Could look a little bit of Adam Frazier. Maybe Tommy Pham, but that's probably it. But Martin Maldonado, a cheap catching option if he starts at catcher for Padres against the lefty. I don't mind him here. But again, rain is a concern, but it shouldn't matter as long as the game gets in because don't really like the pitching in this one and not going with pitching. So going to the next game, you got Colorado at San Francisco. You got Ryan Feltner, Feltner versus Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks is one of those where he's had some good matchup against teams that strike out this year, but he hasn't had a huge game. Now, Colorado strikes out the most out of any team, okay? Overall, 33 plate appearances against them, this current team, 258 batting average, 15.2. Jordan Hicks at 7,900 has not hit value. He's hit value once this year against Houston. Now, Colorado is a bad team. At 7,900, I think he is overpriced here a little bit. I'll have a little bit of exposure to him, but I think people will be on him a lot. And you could get crazy. You could look at a Rocky stack a little bit. I don't know how much we would, but it would be one of those under-owned stacks that if it goes off, you're probably making a ton of money for GPPs or tournaments. Ryan Feltner, on the other hand, 6,500. Bad start against Atlanta. Great start against Kansas City. Bad start against the Dodgers. Great start against Milwaukee. So he kind of has a good, bad going. He had a bad one. Maybe he has a good one against San Francisco. It is a pitcher's park. But wait a minute. No, he got put on the IL. Wait, when? Oh, he got put on the IL. Okay. So it's not even him anymore. Never mind. I love how it's not, literally just happened as I clicked on that. It's not even showing up yet. That's wild. So yeah, we don't know who's the pitcher for Colorado Rockies. So it's kind of hard to break down this game. Maybe a little bit of Jordan Hicks because Colorado is bad, but you could look at Colorado bats a little bit depending on who it is. But yeah, can't really go into this game until we know who that is. So when this happens, it doesn't usually happen like this, but that's kind of funny that between showing here and clicking, it put him on the IL. But that being said, I would look at some bats. It'll all come down to who's going to be the pitcher for Colorado, but there are some certain San Francisco bats that we could look at, righty or lefty. We'll wait. But these are through 10,000 sims. Once 20,000 sims are done, about an hour or two before first pitch of the main slate, that is when we update everything. We will have it updated when the pitcher has been confirmed. So that is kind of funny that happened middle of what I'm talking about. But we look at the next game, Minnesota at Boston. Boston strikes out the fourth most out of any team. So Bailey Ober is maybe in a good spot. Boston pitching, Hunter Dobbins. Don't know anything about him. He's 7,500. He's pitched twice this year. Did really well against the White Sox. You're supposed to against the White Sox. He now goes up against Minnesota. Overall, Minnesota's team hasn't been the best from what we've expected for a while. But looking at that, we could be in a spot where 7,500 is a little bit of expensive for me. 5 innings, 6 innings. He hasn't pitched in a couple of weeks. And his price has gone up. 2.46 ERA. The strikeouts 6 and 5. So they've been pretty decent. At that price of 7,500, I don't mind him for tournaments. Bailey Ober, on the other hand, you kind of look at 4.13 ERA, 4 straight starts in a row that have been decent, and he had the one bad start to start the season. He now goes up against a team that strikes out a ton, but they also are putting up some runs. So it's kind of what you're looking for there. But pitching-wise, I like both of them. Batting-wise, if you're not going to go with either of them and you wanted to look at certain bats, we can definitely dig into those bats a little. So against Bailey Ober, no one has a home run. Against right-handed pitching, they are hitting pretty well. So if you are looking at Boston, Bregman's batting .343 against righties this year. I would look at him. Wilyer Abreu batting 299. Christian Campbell, if he starts, he has had that day-to-day for a while, batting 322 this year. Wilyer Abreu has 6 bombs. You got Duran, 295 batting average with a couple of bombs. Like, it makes sense as a stack. Trevor Story could be in there as well. Rafaela, like, it makes sense. If you want to look at just sports betting because of how much they strike out, I'm okay with that one as well. So we kind of look at that, and overall, pitching-wise, I think both are tournament options. I don't think they're cash options. I don't trust them enough to be cash options. And then the final game on the main slate here, or the early slate, Max Meyer versus Beto going up against Miami. Beto, not much. Max Meyer has never seen the Athletics before. Game log, like looking at this, his last game, 4 innings, 5 earned runs, 11.25 ERA. He is 9,700 against an Athletics team. Like, he's coming off his worst start of the year. Before that, he had a 42.5, so he had a great start. They've bumped his price up a ton, and that scares me. Scares me a little bit because the Athletics have been hitting, and we can dig in and see how they've been hitting against righties. And then Beto here comes in. We've used him a couple times this year. It really has screwed us over. Really hasn't hit value. He's hit value once this year, and that was at Seattle. He now goes up against Miami. Like, it looks on paper to be a good matchup, but then let's dig into the numbers a little bit. So, Mayer's never seen the Athletics. Athletics against righties this year. Tyler Soderstrom is hitting 286 with 8 bombs. He's absolutely smashing right now. Lawrence Butler, 278 batting average, 4 bombs. You got Brent Rooker batting 250, which is above league average, batting 6 with 6 bombs. Jacob Wilson, we love to use Mighty Wilson here. 326 batting average, 3 home runs as well. Tournaments, I'll have a little bit of exposure to Mayer, but I'm probably looking at Athletics as a stack. And the Miami bats against, is it Sears? It's not supposed to be Sears. It's supposed to be Beto. And it's the numbers are going to be off. The bats that you could use for Miami, if we were to look at that, Xavier Edwards makes a little bit of sense. Augustine Ramirez makes a ton of sense here. He is expensive, though. You want to get a little bit cheaper. You got Otto Lopez come down a little bit further. Eric Wagaman, you could look at. That's probably as far down as I go. I don't really trust many other ones here. And it just depends on what we're going to get for weather-wise, how many games are going to be postponed, if there's any going to be postponed. But I'm probably not using either pitcher here. I would look at the bats. I think Athletics make a ton of sense first. And that's kind of what I would go with. So that's your early slate done. Now we've got the main slate starting about 25 minutes earlier than what we're used to. We got weather concerns in Cincinnati. We got weather concerns in Atlanta. We got weather concerns in Baltimore as well. So there are going to be some weather concerns today. Whether or not, if we're dependent on what we're looking for, hopefully we're good. Hopefully the pitching and matchups and stuff like that don't mean much, and we could be pretty good looking everything else out there. So what I'm looking for here is to kind of see. Now, there is a Arizona Diamondbacks and Phillies that are kind of in the middle. You got Brandon Pfaadt versus Aaron Nola. So it's kind of one of those single games that's in between the slates for whatever reason, so it's not being covered. But we will have it covered with simulations. We will have it covered with our projections. It'll all be on the website for you. It'll all be under the FTA Plus, $10 for the week. It'll be just the weekly pass, the monthly pass, the yearly pass, and the lifetime pass as well. So it'll all be covered. It's just not covered because it's not on this slate. So we do look at Washington at Cincy. If weather is not a concern, you do have Nick Lodolo versus Trevor Williams. Lodolo is averaging 18 fantasy points per game. He loves to pitch at home. We took him last start. Wait, did we take him in Colorado? I think we took him in Colorado. Yeah, we did. Because his price was there. We knew Colorado-wise that his ownership should be lower just because it's Colorado and people aren't going to take a ton of pitchers there. And Colorado's a bad team. But both of these teams are good. Like, they hit very well. So we look at splits, And we see that at home, he's got a 5 ERA because it is Great American Small Park. It depends on how the weather is doing here. And just kind of looking at the early weather, the wind is blowing in, but also blowing to right. So it's got a 12% chance for home run. So looking at that, coming off his best start of the year, his best start of the year, I don't mind him whatsoever. Trevor Williams is the other one. He's got a 5.70 ERA. We have not really taken him. He's had some bad starts here. I don't like him in this matchup against Cincy. I'm probably just looking at bats in this one and not looking at pitching overall. I think I'd probably just stack on both sides. So if we're taking Washington bats against Lodolo, no one's hit a home run, but against left-handers this year, they don't actually do that well. So maybe we do take a little bit of Lodolo. And this is why I like you guys seeing my process. So in my mind, first off, I'm like, no Lodolo. But then you look and overall, they don't hit lefties as well. But they could get to him. CJ Abrams batting 258 with a home run. Keibert Ruiz, we do like to take against lefties. Batting 300, 10 for 30 with a home run. Other than that, though, they're like James Wood batting 238 with 3 bombs. They're not really doing a ton. So Nick Lodolo might make a little bit of sense. And then Cincy bats against Trevor Williams, no one's really seen him at all. Against right-handed pitching, Jose Trevino, he's been absolutely on fire when we've used him. Against righties this year, batting 358, would not surprise me for him to hit a home run. I would look at him. Ellie De La Cruz is batting 289 with 3 bombs. You got Noel V. Marte batting 325 with 3 bombs. Gavin Lux batting 375. Like, they're hitting very well. TJ Friedel batting 290. Austin Hayes hits lefties better than righties, but he's still batting 341 with 5 bombs against right-handed pitching. That's what I'm looking at. Cincy stack makes so much sense here. If you want to go Trevor Williams for tournaments because everyone's going to be on Cincy, I get that. Weather is a little bit of a concern, but I do like Cincy as a stack here a little bit more. If I were to take a pitcher in that game, it would be Lodolo, and that is it. Seattle at Texas is next. You got Luis Castillo versus Patrick Corbin. Castillo comes in 3.62 ERA, coming off a great start against Miami. Couple of bad starts here, or not subpar starts. Texas, it just depends. Castillo pitching at home or on the road. He does have an 8.68 ERA on the road. Again, we are, a month into the season, so home and road splits, they aren't like pertinent to the information we want to use right now because there's not a ton of data to go off. But we do look at that. So Castillo makes some sense. He's under 8K, which we like. Then Patrick Corbin, like, he's had decent starts here. Okay. But he hasn't really gone deep into games. His pitch count gets up there pretty early in the game. He does walk some. Strikeouts are so-so, but Seattle strikes out pretty good. Seattle's one of those teams where they can strike out. So Seattle overall strikes out 6th most. They strike out 8.93. So yeah, Patrick Corbin, he's going to be the Patrick Corbin that we are used to. So if we were to take that situation there, that would then be Seattle bats. So let's dig in and let's see the bats, because I don't know if I really like the pitching here in this one, but I don't mind the bats if we are looking at them. So Seattle bats against Corbin in their career. Like, Jorge Polanco's been absolutely on fire this year. Batting 800, was at 4 for 5 with 1 home run. J-Rod probably underowned. He'd bat 167 against him. Looking against left-handed pitching this year, Arozarena hits lefties better. Williamson hits lefties better. Mitch Garver usually does hit lefties better. So you could always look at that and definitely have a feeling for it. I would look at Mitch Garver as a cheap option. I don't know if he'll start because you do have Kyle Raleigh there. Kyle Raleigh only batting 195 against lefties. So, like, you could throw Patrick Corbin, I guess, in a tournament because he is so cheap. But I just don't trust his overall numbers. They scare me a little bit. And then on the flip side of that, Rangers bats against Castillo. Like, Higashioka has a home run against him. Peterson has a home run, but he's struggled mightily this year. Marcus Semien, 308 batting average. Josh Smith, 750. But then against right-handed pitching, Josh Young, 310 batting average, 2 home runs. Adolis Garcia, 4 bombs. Josh Smith is batting 339. Like, these are great numbers here. Wyatt Langford batting 315 with 4 bombs, 9 RBIs. Adolis Garcia is another one. So I'm probably off of Luis Castillo. I could see you guys going a stack on both sides. I think a Mariner stack makes a little bit more sense, but I could see both sides being stacked. Next game, the Cubs at the Brewers. You've got Jose Quintana versus Jameson Taillon. Quintana has been really good this year so far. 1.14 ERA, not expecting that. But you can see he's had really great starts. He's finally up there at 8,500. My only problem is the Cubs offense has been really good. So overall, we can look at the numbers here and see how they match up. Quintana, 76 plate appearances in his career against this current roster of the Cubs. 19.7 K percentage, 9.2 walk, 258 batting average. So they're kind of up there. And then Taillon's kind of the same thing. So you look at their numbers, like Quintana has some great numbers, but he hasn't faced like amazing offenses this year overall. Then you look at Taillon. 4.01 ERA, really hasn't hit value as much. I mean, he has hit value, but the strikeouts have been up and down. The innings have been where they're at. So Taillon against Milwaukee, tournament-wise, I think both pitchers are tournament options. But if you're going to go with bats on both sides and not go tournament options for pitching, Christian Yelich has 2 bombs against Taillon. Churio has a home run. Rhys Hoskins has a home run. And then we break it down to against right-handed pitching. William Contreras batting .310 this year against righties. I would look at him. Bryce Terang, he gets on, he hits bombs, and he steals bases. Batting .333. Collins has a .462 batting average. I don't know if he'll get in there, but he could be a very cheap option. Christian Yelich this year, .257 batting average. So I'm probably leaning a little more towards stacking both offenses here. There's just other pitching that we can go with than this game here. And we do have weather concern here. The Dodgers at the Braves. Schwellenbach versus Roki Sasaki. So we look at this, and Sasaki's never faced them before. The Braves offense, they have come along lately more than they did to start the season. So Schwellenbach is very expensive. But the problem is he is 10,000, 9,000 last time. He has not hit value since April 4th. He's just so high up there, and he's going up against the Dodgers. I don't want to pay near 10,000 for him. Sasaki at 7,700, you're going to get $2,000 salary relief here. Really hasn't hit value either is the thing. 10 fantasy points against Pittsburgh. 14.5 is not value. 11.7 is not value. I think people will be on that. I'm probably avoiding the pitching in this. I'm looking at the bats on both sides. Obviously, the Dodgers is going to be the higher owned one. But if we look at the Braves bats against right-handed pitching this year, they hit very well. Murphy batting .283. Baldwin batting .293, depending on who's going to start the game there at catcher. Albies batting .240 with 4 bombs. You've got Michael Harris batting .247 with 2 bombs. Verdugo batting .357 from the leadoff spot is a cheap leadoff option. Eli White, if he gets in there, .316 batting average, 2 bombs. Like, I would look at them. Then the Dodgers stack against Spencer Schwellenbach. Like, Rojas has a home run, but that's it. But against right-handed pitching, you can see there's a ton of green. Mookie Betts batting .266. Freeman batting .396. Rojas batting .346. He would be a cheap option that I don't think a lot of people would be on. So we look at that, and Rojas could be a cheap option. Just it'll depend. And then you do have Andy Pages batting .313 with 4 bombs. Ohtani batting .280 with 6 bombs. Like, I'm looking at stacking on both sides. I can almost guarantee you through 10,000 sims, I want nothing to do with either of these pitchers. Maybe after I will, but I don't think so. Kansas City at Baltimore. So it is the weather is a concern. You got Chris Bubich, who I can't believe what he's doing. He's got a .250 ERA. Did have a bad start against Houston, 4 earned runs there, but that was his worst start of the year. His price, though, scares me a little bit because this Baltimore team, but he did just face them on April 6th, 6.2 innings, 8 strikeouts. It's in Baltimore, so it's not a pitcher's park as much as it is in Kansas City. That's the only thing that scares me. I'll have some exposure to Bubich. Sugano, though, outside of the game, he had the game of his life against the Yankees, struck them out 8 times. The Yankees strike out the second most out of any team, though. You got Kansas City, whose offense. Sugano, I don't think he's going to pitch how he did against the Yankees. So that tells me, hey, I want to look I want to check out maybe the offenses here a little bit. So if we look at the offenses, against Sugano, Bobby Witt does have a home run against him. Against right-handed pitching, though, this year, Sal Perez batting 247. I don't think he played on Friday. I'm not really sure why. Bobby Witt batting 311. I would use him. Drew Waters is a very cheap outfield option if you need to complete a Kansas City stack. Kyle Isbell, 264 batting average, another one as well. So those are kind of what I'm looking at. Freddie Furman, I don't know if he'll get in, but a 324 batting average and 34 at-bats. Baltimore bats against Bubic. Like you can see, Carlson does have a home run. Cedric Mullins does have a home run as well. Cedric Mullins steals bases. But against left-handed pitching, overall this year, they have not hit very well. So we look at that, and like Urias, 333 batting average with a home run. Cedric Mullins batting 333 against lefties with 2 home runs. Outside of that, like they aren't hitting lefties well. So you could look at that and maybe in your mind, you're like, okay, we'll go Bubic a little bit if you want to pay up. And that might be the play that I go with here. Again, through 10,000 sims, though. Then the final game on this slate, we've got Detroit at the Angels. We got Jack Flaherty versus Kyle Hendricks. I don't trust a ton here, but if we look at this, Jack Flaherty has a 3.34 ERA, 38 strikeouts this year. 3 at home, 3 on the road. Angels strike out the 3rd most out of any team, so that's great on top of that. But on the road in 3 starts, Jack Flaherty has not. It's got a 5.28 ERA. But we've talked about that. He does have a great matchup here that I really want to. I think I want to take exposure to, and he's only 9K. And then you got Kyle Hendricks. Kyle Hendricks is boring. 6.65 ERA, not much going on there. 0-3 record, only 13 strikeouts, a 139 whip. He has not done anything with this, and Detroit has been really good. You guys have heard me slander Kyle Hendricks' name probably every single start. He does nothing. -3, negative. He did 16. He had 2 good starts there. It's come back around. He's now going up against Detroit. If you look at this, like even if he doesn't give up any runs, he's really not striking people out. He had 5 walks against Minnesota in that game, -7.3. 3 innings in that one. Like, he's probably not going more than 5. The way that Detroit's been going, I would rather take Jack Flaherty, and I would rather take the Detroit Tigers offense. So depending on the offense that comes in, against Kyle Hendricks in their career, Glaber's 2 for 3. That's it. And you guys have heard me sit here and say I would never take Javi Baez. The only way I would take Javi in this one is because they were on the Cubs together for so many years. He may know what he's going to throw in that situation, but I don't love it. If I were to take other Detroit bats, like Dingler makes a ton of sense. Perry Carpenter makes sense. Gleyber Torres makes sense. Riley Green, and then Torkelson. Torkelson is starting to kind of come around to who we thought he should be when he first got called up. Him and Casey Mize have found whatever they needed to find and really brought them together. And they've been doing well at the same time, which you love to see. So I'm off of Kyle Hendricks and I'm off of the Angels offense. I am on Jack Flaherty and I am on the Detroit offense here. So there you have it. Those are all of the games on the early slate and the main slate. We do have some weather concerns that we need to kind of navigate through, but I wanted to bring that to you. So now we're going to do the matchup tool. So these are all of the batters through 10,000 sims that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating. So here we go. The record to beat is 38. We're not going to beat it today. So right now, number 1, and this will change. So between 10,000 sims and 20,000 sims, you will see an increase in players here. But we got Aaron Judge, number 1. Number 2 is Bobby Witt Jr. Number 3 is O'Neal Cruz. Number 4 is Salvi Perez. 5 is Jonathan India. 6 is Francisco Lindor. 7 is Kyle Tucker. 8 is Freddie Freeman. 9 is Marcell Ozuna. 10, Brian Reynolds. 11, Andrew McCutchen. 12, Matt Olson. 13, Yordan Alvarez. 14, Juan Soto. 15, William Contreras. 16, Vlad Guerrero Jr. 17, Joey Bart. 18, Alex Verdugo. And number 19 is Ke'Bryan Hayes. So you can see they like a Pittsburgh stack without even looking at this. 5 of the top 20 are in Pittsburgh, and they've got a great spot there. So that's why I'm saying, like, in my mind, I was like, it might be a good spot. And now the first 10,000 sims tell me Pittsburgh could be a sneaky stack today against Vasquez. So I would love to know if you guys do end up using Pittsburgh as a stack and they go off, come back and let me know. But I have had some people say like, oh, if I ever hit big, I will tip you and we'll do that. And I've had some of you guys tip me. Someone tipped me 500, which was amazing. Not expected, but that's another way to help the channel. If you guys want to do that, you can. So today's phrase is, let's go Saturdays are for the boys. We'll do that phrase for them. So we're done with the matchup tool. We'll now look at the pitches be crazy. So what that is we're going to go over the top 5 pitchers. I don't necessarily always go with just these top 5, but I wanted to bring this to you. So Jordan Hicks versus Colorado. Colorado strikes out 10.26 times per game. They strike out 10.25 on the road, and it's a pitcher's park in San Francisco. Number 2 is Zach Littell at New York Yankees. The Yankees strike out 9.55 times per game, 8.73 at home. Number 3 is Jack Flaherty at the Angels. Angels strike out 9.47 times per game, 9.6 at home. Bailey Ober at Boston. Boston strikes out 9.18 times per game, 8.64 at home. And finally, and I'm not using this one, you could, I guess, if you want, Kyle Hendricks versus Detroit. Detroit strikes out 9.16 times per game, 10.19 on the road. You could throw them in there just for that fact that Detroit does strike out top 5 out of all teams. But like I said, Kyle Hendricks is boring, brings nothing to the table. I don't foresee him. I could be wrong. I'll let you know that. I don't see him having a good strikeout. So there you have it. Now we're going to do the Makin Bacon bet. So what this is we're going to look at the batters that have great matchups through 10,000 sims that we think could get over 1.5 bases, and we'll look at the pitching as well. So looking at this with 10 out of 10 matchup ratings and great matchups here, Aaron Judge over 1.5 bases, number 1. Number 2 is Bobby Witt Jr. Number 3 is Sal Perez. Number 4 is Freddie Freeman. 5 is Vladdy. 6 is Francisco Lindor. 7 is Yordan Alvarez. And 8 is Jonathan India versus Sagano. So we have 8 batters that we think could get over 1.5 bases. Aaron Judge is the top one right now. He's going to probably be the top one every single day because he's almost matchup proof. So then we look at strikeout. So we're going to look at the pitchers that we think might have the most strikeouts. So right off the top, I'm looking at Hunter Brown versus the White Sox. The line I would look at is 7 to 8 strikeouts. So over 6.5 or over 7.5. You could probably get some plus odds at over 7.5. We could look at that. Number 2, if you want to go creative, I don't know if I'll use them in DFS, but Max Meyer versus the Athletics. If you could find a line for 6, 7, and 8, kind of look at those. I think he could get a minimum of 6. If you want to tease it up to 8, I'm completely okay with that. Number 3 that I would look at, Jack Flaherty versus the Angels. The line I would look at is about 6 or over 6.5, so 7 plus strikeouts. I would look at that one. And that's kind of it. There's not a ton that I love today. There might be, like Zach Littell, if you could find 5 plus strikeouts out of him because the Yankees do strike out, but I don't know how deep he'll go into the game. So that being said, not a ton of strikeout ones today, but we will be back tomorrow. Depending on when you watch this video, you can check out the MMA content we've got going on. I believe it locks at 5 Central or 6 Central or maybe 7 because it is Central. It might be 7 because it's in Des Moines this week. So check that out. Tomorrow we've got NASCAR, and we'll bring you guys a MLB video for that as well. So again, let's have a great Saturday. I would love to know how you guys found us. If you've won money using us, let us know down below as well. Let other people know. And all of our information is down below. Get in our absolutely free Discord. We try to do some core plays, value plays, and some of the stacks we like from our cheat sheet as well. So good luck today. And as always, bring home some bacon.